Welcome back to the Suffolk cod hunt. We had to do it. I told you I am not going to give up, and this winter is one chance I'm not going to give up at all. Tonight we're estuary fishing for codling. This behind me, even though you cannot see it, is the Deben estuary, Old Felixstowe in Suffolk. This runs right inland, quite a long way, but we're right at the mouth of that estuary where it empties out in the Felixstowe seafront. The time, I believe now, is about 7:30. Low tide was at 7 o'clock. Fish this venue, low tide up to the top, because on the ebb, when this empties, it runs out at about 1,000 miles an hour and you cannot hold bottom. Years ago, this venue used to be amazing for codling. And I say amazing, I mean amazing. Used to be able to come down during the day, have a few codling, go home. Basically, it was a guaranteed mark. But as we know, on Suffolk, the codling have dried up. They're not really about as much. They do show here and there in little pockets. You've got to be very lucky to get one. And tonight, I'm hedging my bets, putting all my fishing luck on there maybe being one here. So I'm going to fish up to high tide. In the distance, you may see another set of headlights. That is Bradley from the Nocturnal Fisherman, another YouTuber, quite local to here. If you haven't checked his channel out yet, type in, after this video is finished, the Nocturnal Fisherman, and you will find him. Match angling, pleasure angling, species hunting, he does it all. Subscribe to him, give him a like, push his channel up, because he is bloody good. He really is. So, tonight's session, stick with me through this. Yes, it's in the dark. I know some of you don't like watching videos in the dark, but unfortunately, at the minute, it is what it is. Stick with me. Let's see what we can get tonight. I reckon we'll see some fish. Let's get it on. Well, that's first cast been in there now, probably around about 45 minutes. I'm leaving it for a long soak time tonight. We've had no whiting so far. Brad's had a lovely size pout, but there's no whiting smashing us, so we can leave it in a little bit longer. But it's time to bring this rod in. All I'm going to say is I don't think there's anything on here at the minute. Well, let's just have a look. Nothing at all. We'll go through the setup and everything I'm using in a little while as well. But we'll get this rod in now, get the bait swapped over, and see if we can get something further on through the session. Tide's still well out. The tide is still well at the bottom here. It's flooding, but it's obviously not in very much. And that bait is virtually untouched, which I'm not going to moan about, because we're now able to sit it out tonight and see if we can get something. Because like I say, those whiting are not a pest. Now, if they were a pest tonight, I'd be doing a lot shorter casts, as in length of time it's in the water, due to the fact that there'd probably be whiting on the hanging on the end, even if I was not getting any bites. So let's get this rebaited up and let's get this session on the road again. First cast done and in, no fish yet for me. I'm just going to show you how I'm baiting up tonight. The bait I'm using tonight, I'm using squid, razor and black lug wraps. So first of all, take a bit of squid. As usual, standard procedure, it's about the size of my thumb. 2-prong baiting needle, any baiting needle will do, but I like to use the 2-prong one. Squid onto the baiting needle. Then take our elastic. What I'll do first of all, I will wrap this squid by itself on the baiting needle, get it nice and tight. You got a base then to attach your other baits to. I'll have them riding piggyback on this, nice and compact. Next, what I have half of a frozen black lug. So that will then, it gets wrapped to the back of the squid. Nice and tight, nice and compact. Keeping it all together. Like I say, riding piggyback. That is the first of the bait done. And last of all, got frozen razor. These come like this. What you do, you break open the razor, and all I like to use on these is the foot of the razor. So peel it out, that part comes out by itself. That is the empty shell, thrown back on the beach. No, it's not littering, it's a natural product that will sit there and it will create a haven for animals. And all I do with this yet again, so I have my squid and black lug, I will wrap this to the squid and black lug, as so. Up and down, keeping it lovely and tight. A little bit of black lug escape there. Not covering any of the bait up. The squid's in the middle, squid will be releasing its flavour. Razor on one side, that will be releasing its flavour. Black lug on the other side, also releasing its flavour. Now the reason I do it like this is, when it's under the water, if you have squid, black lug, razor all on top of each other, that water pressure as it's running past, it will hold that bait together a little bit and you won't get as much of the scent out. Whereas with this, all the scent is going to be coming out at the same time. So now I take my pulley pennel, 3/0 hook on the bottom, 1/0 chinu on top. That is pre-formed. So if you take this out, you have a lovely bait there, all formed up and ready to go. So all I'll do with this is take the bottom of the bait, hook through, bottom of the squid, like so, lay it against the top. I then retake my bait elastic. As you can see, I will whip this super tight all the way up to the top, ensuring that that bait is wrapped fully to the hook. Now, as you can see, that hook doesn't move, but I will still give it a little bit more focus on the bottom of the hook, round the shank of the hook, and where the eye is, just to lock that hook in place so it doesn't move, because the last thing you want is a loose hook on the bottom of your bait, because a fish will hit it and that will just turn in the mouth, lay flat, and it won't hook. So as you can see, there is the bait. Take my 1/0 chinu on top, down to the bottom, standard procedure with my pennels, wrap it round twice, come round to the bottom of the bait, and then that comes through the top. And there we have squid, razor and black lug ready to go out in the river and hopefully bag a codling. And there you have it, the bait I just made ready to go out. So tactics, tackle, what I'm using tonight. I'm using, of course, ever faithful M4 GT Ziplex pen, 525 Mag USA. Yes, it's a new reel I'm using on the channel. Not a new reel for me, but it is a new reel for the channel. Don't normally use this. Thought I'd bring this out now. It's getting out near winter. And it is one of the fastest reels I own. So I have to be careful with this because I'm literally just plonking it out into the sea. Now, rig-wise, pulley, pennel, 80-pound rig body, 20-pound snood, 1/0 chinu on top, 3/0 hook on the bottom, both J hooks down to a 6-ounce lead. Why am I using a pulley pennel, you may ask? Because if one of them fish come along that we're after, you know, them ones that begin with C, I want to be able to hook it. I don't want to miss it because it's grabbed the top hook. And here, literally, it's very deep, very close in. So all I'm doing, overhead thump. Probably 20, 30 yards out, feel it down, hits the bottom. You have a ledge. Them fish, theoretically, should be running a lot up along that ledge, if anything comes in here. Now, we will see, obviously, what happens. That tip is solid round. So I reckon there may be a bit of tide run there now, because to start off with, there was nothing. Tide here on the flood, it runs quite hard. On the ebb, it doesn't run, it runs quite hard on the flood. On the ebb, it runs out like a bloody train. It is hard to hold bottom where you want to be on that ledge. That's why we fish it, bottom of the tide up. But tide run means fish. So if that keeps running nicely, not a massive tide tonight, don't get me wrong, but if that keeps running nicely, those fish will be patrolling up and down here and they will be hitting the baits. Theoretically. We'll see, you never know. We will see. If we get one, it will be absolutely amazing. But that's the second cast out. In the water, fishing away. We can all but hope. Right, let's keep an eye on that rod tip. There we go, it's rattling again. You see that? It just slackened off quite a bit, pulled round again, and it's now banging. Next time it goes, I'm gonna reel into it. Initially, it looked like something half decent the way it slackened off, but now, I'm calling something not so decent. There we go. Let's see what we got on here. It's gone that way a little bit. Walk down because the tide has taken it round the back of that groin. There's some weight there. That could even be weed. Definitely some weight there though. It's heavy. Need to get over here a little bit, get it round the back of that groin because it has pulled round. What do we have? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fish. Ah, fantastic. We knew there would be about. But yet again, as per my last video, do not get too excited. Do not get super excited because this is one of them things that go woof in the night. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Mr. Dogfish. But it's a fish. I don't know how many times I've said on these videos, just getting a fish is always a good sign because it means there's life in that sea. There we go. Monsieur Dogfish, he wolfed that bait down and then decided to run down side of it. Big lump of weed in his mouth, I think, or is that a white rag? That is a load of weed. So, we're off the mark. Down here on the Deben with Monsieur Doggy. Woof woof. As you can probably see, I've got a change of scenery behind me. The reason for that being, I just had what I believe was another dog. Literally slack line me again, but it took me round the groin because I'm fishing close to the groin, and then when I got it close to the bank, it absolutely got stuck in a heft. So I've literally jumped over the wall to where I am so I can fish in an area where I now have the whole bay running down, so I'm not going behind a groin. And for a quick turnaround, 7HT blues on. Literally, quick turnaround. I might stick a shock leader on my pen, and I've also changed to a 7-ounce lead just to see if I can hold bottom a bit better. Now, where it is with the tide, we haven't really got to cast out too far. Tide is taking it. However, we've got this whole bay to play with. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let some line out. And hopefully that will find the bottom in a minute. And just sit there. As you can see, slight bend in the rod tip. But that has gone right the way up tide, or down tide, sorry. So I really want to be fishing like this. It's basically like whatever takes me now. It's got this whole bay if it slacks lines me to go in. Because when I was getting slack line before, like I say, it was just taking me round the end of that groin. And I've lost a set of tackle, which I don't really want to do. So 7-ounce, new place to fish. Just the bay up. Bradley's still over there. He's had 2 pouting, a dog and a whiting, so he's doing well. Let's crack on with the session. These things come to test us, but you just got to adapt and overcome. That's all you got to do. Hopefully I won't get snagged up in here. I don't think I've fished this bay for a long time. But the bait's in there, rod's in the water. What more can we do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is my guest for the night. This is Bradley. Bradley is from the Nocturnal Fisherman YouTube channel on Facebook, on YouTube. Very, very good channel. Go and give it a look after this video. Don't come now, because obviously if you leave this video now, I won't get the views and time, etc. So wait till the end and then go and visit him. But he's come down from Clacton tonight to fish this mark with me, hunting for a codling.
Yes. I've have it on good authority. This man knows what he's doing. So
sometimes.
if there's anyone that can try and pull it out of the bag, it's Matt.
Thank you very much. But like I say, he's never fished this mark before. It's his first time down here, and he's done very well so far. 4 fish so far.
2 clonking pouting.
Massive pout.
Whiting and a little doggy.
Yeah,
so
that's good, mate. It's good. It's good, but, you know, I mean, what do you think of the mark? We started off on the sand, but now the tide is where we want it to be, halfway up the flood. So what do you think of it?
It's pucker. It's comfortable. It's easy. It's up on the concrete.
It is.
You can't ask for much more. You're not getting covered in sand. Nothing worse than getting covered in sand. So
for me, it's a 15 to 20 minute drive. For you, it's about an hour?
About an hour-ish, yeah.
So we really want to pull it out of the bag now, because he's come quite a long way to try and fish it. I mean, you've had 4 fish, but that codling is out there. The tide is absolutely nailing it through. The fish are in there as well. The fish are feeding, as you know, because you've had some.
Because I've had them.
So it's got to be there. You know, they've got to be there, but we're going to fish for it. We've got 3 hours left, up to high. As you can see, we moved up onto the concrete. Pretty certain this man here may well have a cod. You never know, mate. You never know.
I've got the bait for it. Bit of lug, bit of crab.
Yep.
Brag. I've got everything pretty much, to be fair. It's just finding the winning combination at the right time.
Exactly. And like I say, his video of this session will be up on his channel as well. So go and watch it. Right. Spiel done. Let's get back to it. Let's see if we can pull a cod out. I'm waiting for that rod to go bang, bang, slack. Is it going to happen in the next 3 hours? Stick through the video and let's have a look. Right, this is the first cast that I had from this side. I'm now about to reel in. So the interesting thing will be, are we snagged up in a heft or not? No, we're not. Lovely. So it's clean ground I'm fishing over. See if I catch anything on the way in. I've never fished this bay, well, I say before, for a long time. So let's just see. Oh, it's clean all the way in. Absolutely lovely. And that tide is now more or less up to the wall. So, tiny bit of weed on the lead knot. Bait untouched. However, we may have found the formula to keep this rod going without getting snagged now for the rest of the night. That last bay over there, fishing with Bradley, 2 to a bay. Yes, it does work. However, as I told you before, I got hooked up, I lost a fish, and I snapped off. So when you do that sometimes, with the way this tide's going, I know full well I can't fish in there with him because his line's going to be coming down as well. So, move up one, you then have the whole of this bay to fish in to see if we can catch. Right, I've got a new bait going on, it's going out, we've got 3 hours left of the tide. I can smell codling. Whether they're here or not is a different story. Another cod bait ready to go out, what I call a smorgasbord for the codling. Another squid, black lug, and of course, razorfish combo. Now with this tide in the way it is, we don't really have to cast this out very far. This can just now go in this area in front of me, gentle overhead thump. Feel it down. Literally come back here now. That is still in the tide, but it's just on the edge. That tide is absolutely nailing, but I'm letting a boa line off. So hopefully that 7 will find bottom pretty soon. Still running in the tide. See if I can lock up to it. That is running like crazy, and that is now holding. Don't get me wrong, it's gone a little bit further away, probably that sort of direction in the bay. But that's what I've done. I've let the slack line out, let it hold bottom. That lead should now be buried in. All I'm waiting for now, because of that tide, that tip should spring back if I get a bite. Sooner or later, I reckon it might be running a little bit hard at the minute, but sooner or later that will ease off and then fish will come back on the feed. Maybe doggies, maybe pouting, or maybe that elusive codling. An hour and 45 minutes left till high tide. And as far as I'm aware, this has all gone very quiet. I have not had a bite for ages. I think Bradley flicked out a flapper just in front of him. He had a little tiny bass, and I think he's just pulled in a doggy. But I've only had the one doggy so far. So it's a little bit of a struggle for me tonight. Is what it is. Baits are coming back untouched. If you look at that. Absolutely untouched. But I will keep chugging away, keep persevering. You never know. There could be something come along in the next hour and a half that changes everything. We've got about an hour and a bit, tiny little bit until high tide. Tide run slowed down, and I've had a couple of little rattles on this rod. So let's see if anything's on it. It's not slackened off, it's actually been pulled down a little bit by the tide. Might actually be something there. There's a little tiny bit of weight, but I don't think that weight's gone. Bradley over there is still catching pout, he's catching dogs. Whereas this little area up here seems to be devoid of fish. He's having it off over there. And my bait's coming back untouched. You never know. Like I say, we've still got a little bit of time to see if one of them fish that we're after do turn up. With the tide slackening off, it's going to be a little bit easier now to hold bottom and cast where we want to cast. So I'm going to get another bait on, exactly the same. Squid, blacks and razor. Get it out there and see what I can do in the next hour. See if I can pick up that elusive fish. Or just a fish, because he's absolutely hammering me over there. He's in the little pout hotspot, I call it. He's getting some lovely sized pout, he's getting doggies. And like I say, he's had a little bass close in as well. But we're in it. Are we going to win it? I've actually got a bite. That rod tip has just rattled a few times quite nicely. Banged over a couple of times. Came back a little bit as well. So we'll just sit back and we'll watch the rod tip, see if anything else happens. And then I'll reel it in. Tiniest of bites now. I've seen a couple of tiny knocks, so I'm saying it might well be a whiting. But what I say, we'll sit back, watch the rod tip, and see if anything else comes along on it. That's the first bite, a proper bite I've seen in a long time. Maybe because we've got an hour left till high, the tide's slackened off. I'm now fishing just inside these groins. Maybe the fish are coming in and actually feeding there now. Tiniest of knocks there. Come on, go over. Give it another nice little rattle or something like that. If not, I'll just reel. There's something there. That's the tiniest of rattles. Let's see what we got. I'm saying whiting. If there's even anything on there. Little tiny bit of weight. And now there's no weight. Have we got anything at all? Oh goodness, the tide's coming up. Nope. Nothing at all. And that bait, that's been pulled a little bit. So I'm saying little white and grabbing the bait, having a little go at it. But the fish are now feeding. Like I say, I just had a bite, get another bait out, and that's all I keep saying. Get another bait on and get it out. Let's see if we can get a codling. And that water is starting to lap over the top of this, but it's not too bad. So I don't think I'm gonna have to move. Right, let's get another bait on and get it out there. Yet again, I've just had a couple of good bangs, slackened off a little bit, and that seems to have gone down a little bit downside. However, the rod hasn't done anything for a little while. So let me just reel this in. And as you can probably see, snag, and that's the end of that. I can't say anything else. What an absolutely abysmal session. We get them. It wasn't a blank. It was not a blank. Bradley, who's down here for the first time, who's up in that bay, yeah, he's had 10 fish. And me, one doggy, and cut off twice. That last section that you saw where I just got cut off, there was a fish on there. I reckon it was a dog. You never know. It could have been a codling. Who knows? We will never know. But there we go. That's the River Deben estuary done. Whatever cut me off, I do not know. Obviously, I cut off that side at the end of this groin, and I was cut off this side at the end of the groin. So there's obviously something running along there. Is what it is. That's what fishing's all about. Sometimes you go out and have an amazing session. Other times you go out and things like this happen. I don't know. We'll leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you by the water very soon.